I'm 71 years old, and I have to ask you something before we go any further. If someone walked up to you right now, a stranger, completely serious, and said, I will give you $10 million, but you will spend the last 20 years of your life in pain, would you take it? Most of you just said no, automatically, without thinking. But here's what's keeping me up at night. Most of you are already taking that deal every single day. You just haven't signed the paperwork yet. You don't see it because it doesn't happen all at once. Nobody hands you a contract. Nobody asks you to choose. It happens in small, ordinary decisions that don't feel like decisions at all. The skipped meal, the missed sleep, the stress you absorb and call ambition, the body you push past its limits and call discipline.
One day at a time, 1 year at a time, until one day, and I promise you this day comes, your body sends you a bill, and the number on that bill is everything you thought you were building. I was 54 the first time my body sent me that bill. Heart scare. Nothing fatal, not that time, but serious enough that I sat in a hospital bed for 3 days with nothing to do but think. No phone, no meetings, no deal to close. Just me, a ceiling, and the sound of a machine telling me I was still alive. And in those 3 days, I had more clarity than I'd had in 20 years of working. I thought about what I had, and I thought about what I had given up to get it. I want to tell you what I figured out, not because I think I have all the answers, but because I spent the better part of my life getting this completely wrong. And I don't want you to waste as many years as I did before you see it. Here's what I used to believe. Money fixes everything. I genuinely believed that. Not in a greedy way. I wasn't chasing yachts or private jets. I just believed that financial security was the foundation. That if I could build enough of it, everything else, my health, my relationships, my peace of mind, would follow naturally. Security first, everything else after. I believed that the body was a tool, something to be managed and pushed and fueled just enough to keep performing. Sleep was something I'd catch up on later. Food was fuel. Rest was for weekends. I was young and capable, and I had things to build. The body would keep up. That's what I told myself. I believed that stress was just the price of ambition. All the driven people I admired seemed to live with it. The pressure, the sleepless nights, the constant forward motion, that wasn't damage. That was the cost of doing something with your life. I was proud of how much I could carry. Does that sound familiar to you? If you're honest with yourself, doesn't that sound like the story you're living right now? The second bill came when I was 61. Not a heart scare this time, a diagnosis. The kind that comes with a very quiet room and a doctor who suddenly stops making eye contact. Chronic. Manageable, but not curable. Something I would carry for the rest of my life. I remember driving home from that appointment in complete silence. No radio, no calls. I had a phone full of messages I didn't open, a schedule full of things I didn't care about anymore. And one thought that kept repeating itself over and over all the way home. What was it all for? Not in a dramatic way, not in despair, just genuinely. What was it for? The accounts, the deals, the years of grinding. What had all of that actually bought me? Because sitting in that car, I couldn't feel any of it. The money didn't make the diagnosis lighter. The success didn't slow my heartbeat. The financial security I had spent decades building did not, for a single second, make me feel secure. And for the first time in my adult life, I understood something I had been walking past for 30 years. Health is not a reward you receive after you've built enough money. It is the currency you spend to build everything else. And unlike money, you cannot earn it back once it's gone. You can make another million. You cannot make another liver. You cannot negotiate with a worn-out heart. You cannot close a deal with your own immune system. I had it completely backwards for 30 years. Now here is the part that should frighten you, because it frightened me when I finally saw it. The damage doesn't announce itself. That's what makes it so dangerous. You don't feel your cortisol destroying your arteries. You don't feel the chronic inflammation building quietly in your body like a slow fire nobody can see. You don't feel the years of compressed sleep stealing decades from your life, one night at a time. You feel fine. You feel capable. You feel like you are winning, until you don't. I have a friend, brilliant man, built a company from nothing, worth more money than either of us will ever count. He retired at 58, and he spent the first 5 years of his retirement in and out of hospitals, dealing with the health he had neglected for 30 years. The vacation he'd planned his whole life, he took it in a wheelchair. I have another friend who chose differently. Never made as much money, always left work at a reasonable hour, slept, cooked his own food, walked every morning. At 68, he looks 15 years younger than men his age. He travels. He plays with his grandchildren on the floor. He is present in a way I am still learning to be. Same generation, same era, completely different lives. The difference wasn't luck. It wasn't genetics. It was what they chose to treat as the priority. What are you treating as the priority right now? Let me tell you what I lost. Not what happened to me, what I lost. Because there's a difference. I lost my 40s to exhaustion I called productivity. I was there physically for most of it, at dinners, at birthdays, at weekends away, but I wasn't present. I was always processing the next thing, running the next calculation, carrying weight nobody could see. My children grew up next to a man who was technically in the room. They deserved more than that. I know that now. I lost the version of my body that could do things effortlessly, running without thinking about it, sleeping through the night without medication, eating without careful management, waking up without a checklist of symptoms to monitor. I didn't know what I had when I had it. I treated it like it would last forever. It didn't. I lost years of genuinely feeling well. That quiet, ordinary feeling of a body that just works, that I hadn't felt in so long I'd forgotten what it was supposed to feel like. When you're always tired, tired becomes normal. When you're always tense, tension becomes your resting state. You stop noticing what you've lost because the loss happens so gradually. I lost the ability to be spontaneous, to say yes to things without first calculating whether my body could manage it. Every trip now requires planning I didn't used to need. Every social commitment involves an energy calculation I never asked for. This is what the years of running on empty actually cost. Not the dramatic moments, the small freedoms that quietly disappear. Now I want to speak to you directly. You are sitting somewhere right now, probably tired, probably a little stressed, probably telling yourself that things will ease up soon, that this pace is temporary, that once you get through this particular stretch, it will get better. I know because I said all of that. For 30 years. When did you last sleep 8 hours without an alarm pulling you out before you were ready? When did you last eat a meal slowly, without looking at your phone or running through your mental list? When did you last exercise? Not to lose weight, not to look better, but simply because your body needed to move and you gave it that. When did you last check in with your body the way you check in with your bank account? Because I will tell you something that took me until I was 61 to understand. Your body is sending you signals right now. It has been sending them for years. The fatigue you push through, the tension that lives in your shoulders, the digestion that hasn't been right for longer than you can remember, the sleep that never quite feels like enough. Those are not inconveniences. Those are warnings. And warnings only come for so long before they stop being warnings and start being diagnoses. Who are you really doing all of this for? And what will any of it be worth if you arrive at the destination too broken to enjoy it? Here's the truth I needed someone to tell me at 30. Simple, almost embarrassingly so. Money can be rebuilt. Health cannot be fully restored once it is genuinely gone. That's it. That is the whole equation. And yet we treat them as if they are the same kind of asset, as if you can pour yourself into one for 30 years and then switch your attention to the other and find it waiting for you, intact. It doesn't work that way. The body is not a savings account. You cannot make deposits later to cover the withdrawals you are making right now. Every night of poor sleep is a withdrawal. Every meal eaten standing up under stress is a withdrawal. Every year of carrying more cortisol than your system was designed to handle is a withdrawal. And at some point, not dramatically, not all at once, but at some point, the account runs low. Now, am I telling you to stop working? No. Am I telling you that money doesn't matter? Of course not. Money matters. Financial security is real and important, and I am not going to stand here and pretend otherwise. What I am telling you is this: the two are not enemies. They are not opposites. A person who sleeps properly thinks more clearly and makes better decisions. A person who exercises regularly has more energy and more resilience. A person who manages their stress doesn't burn out at 52 and lose 5 years of their most productive decade to recovery. Taking care of your health is not the opposite of building wealth. It is what makes building wealth possible over the long term. The most expensive thing I ever did was neglect my health for 30 years. Not because of the medical bills, though those were significant, but because of the opportunities I missed when I wasn't functioning at my best. The decisions I made badly because I was exhausted. The relationships I damaged because I was too depleted to show up properly. The version of my career I never reached because I ran out of the energy to get there. Your health is your infrastructure. Everything else is built on top of it. Here is what I want you to do. Not a grand gesture, not a total transformation, just one question, honestly answered. If your body were a business, and you reviewed it the way you review your finances, what would the report say? Is it solvent? Is it being maintained? Or is it running on debt, slowly, quietly, in ways you have chosen not to look at too carefully? Because the audit is coming. It always comes. You don't choose if. You only choose when. And whether you face it on your terms or on the body's terms. There is no perfect moment to start treating your health like the priority it is. There is only now. The meal you eat tonight. The sleep you protect this week. The appointment you stop rescheduling. The walk you take tomorrow morning that you've been promising yourself for 3 months. Start there. Start small. But start now, because I am 71 years old, and I have more money than I ever imagined I would. And there are mornings I would trade a significant amount of it, without hesitation, just to feel the way I felt at 35. Don't wait until you understand what that sentence actually means. If this reached something in you today, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment. Tell me which side of this equation you've been neglecting. I read every one. And if you want more of these conversations, the honest ones nobody else seems willing to have, stay around. There's more to say.